First thing we do is we're going to brush the horses up. We put them on the trailer unbrushed, but we're going to brush them up just to make sure that there is no mud under the saddle. They've been out when they have these winter coats like this. It's a little easier in the summer, but they've been out here. So they got a lot of mud here. One of the most important areas that we want you to focus on is this area right here, where the girth goes. That I'm reaching under here, I'm feeling mud. Okay, this is a problem. This could cause a saddle sore. Okay, so this is one of the most important things that you're going to do is check for mud here, because these horses are girthed and we don't want them to be sore. They're being used all day. So the back area here. Now, we're not creating show horses here. Some of you might spend a lot more time grooming, but we obviously have 19 to do in the morning. So we're just going to make sure the mud's knocked off. We're going to check that girth area here. She's got a lot going on back here with mud. We want them to look nice. And I want to make sure they don't get any saddle sores either, because that's important. Now, the other thing that part of your job is you're going to check for injuries. Sometimes they get injured here and there, and it might be a small injury. Sometimes it's an injury where we can't use them. So this is up to the lead on the trail. If you see an injury, she's got a little bite here. That's probably not going to keep her from working, but really it's up to the lead person that's out there. You bring that to their attention. Anything you see, maybe they have a loose shoe, something like that. So I'm going to check over here with this girth area again. Really important. I'm going to run my hand under here, make sure there's no mud, so Star doesn't get a sore. One of the things too, I'll show you here, the horses are tagged. So this is a halter bridle. It has Star's name on it. The saddles also have the same thing. So you're looking for Star's halter bit has a name on it, and the saddle. So the other thing, I'll show you. You need to pick up a foot, maybe somebody's limping. Okay, so we're going to pick up Star's front foot here. Most of them are good about that. Okay, so that's how you pick up a foot, in case you haven't done that before. And most of them, again, are very good about it. So first we're going to do saddle pad, and what I like to do is I make sure there's nothing going on under here with sticks or burrs or anything, and then I'm going to make sure this is in the front. Okay, these are on the side. They're all not like this, but this is a key as to where this goes. Okay. So we're gonna, the way I do it, I'm gonna start it high up on her. I'm gonna tent this, start it high up here, and I like to slide back because that way all the hair slides back. So you don't, if you put it here and go this way, that's not the way for me. Anyway, I'm gonna do this, tent it, make sure it's not down, and this is right up here on her withers. She's got nice withers to do this. The next thing we put on our horses are the blue, what we call the blue and grays, okay? Goes on top of the saddle pad. This identifies Horse Tours of Gettysburg, as we know we're out there with everybody uniform. You will see there is a pad here. This is your clue as to where this goes, because this goes up over here. And then I always make sure that fits right there. Thank you, Star. And then the points are in the back. It's sometimes easy to get them backwards, but if your points are in the back and this matches this, then you're good. Then I'm going to walk around and make sure that this isn't bunched up over here. Looks good to me. Just make sure of that, because it can get bunched up under the saddle. Now I'm going to go back for the saddle. We're going to put a saddle on. We ride with Western saddles. I always recheck this, because what can happen by the time you walk back to the trailer and come back, Star could have knocked this off. It could be crooked. So I'm going to make sure one more time that this pad is up underneath our blue and grays, that everything is straight, okay? And then I'm going to lift this saddle. This is a fairly heavy one. Everyone has their own way of doing it. I'm going to make sure that this comes this way, and I'm going to toss this on Star, but toss is a bad word. I don't want to let it land on her back heavy. See? So I'm going to set it on her back, and I'm going to get all the stuff out from under. This is a good example. This saddle is not sitting on this pad right. So I am going to move it, okay? Move it up. I'm going to make sure, one of the big problems is things get tucked under with these saddles. Maybe there's a strap that's not right, and I'm going to sit this on her, right? So this is not tangled up. Thank you, Star. And I'm going to come around here. see all of this is tangled. This is what happens. All of this is underneath. I've got to get all of this out from underneath. The girth, the strap, and I'm going to check it again on this side because Star's working all day. We don't want this to not fit her right. I have my pad, my blue and gray. My girth is out from under. All my straps are right. I'm also checking for damage. What if you see a stirrup that's broken or a latigo that doesn't look good? I'm going to report that to my leader as well. All right, so I'm going to let this down. We always tie these back up because this is a big trip hazard. Every saddle's different. There's usually a keeper here. I'm going to look at this girth. I'm going to make sure this is solid. You don't want that breaking during a ride. And then I'm going to make sure that this is tucked correctly like this. Now I'm going to go back around. And if this was put away properly, this latigo is going to be just like this, tied up so I didn't trip, right? What I do is I put this up out of my way. Okay. All right, so I'm going to girth Star. I've already checked to make sure there's no mud here. I've checked to make sure all these blankets are right. I put this stirrup up to get it out of my way. And I'm going to pull this girth over here. And the first thing I'm going to do, you'll notice this is a double rig saddle. Most saddles only have one. So I'm going to girth it as if you're girthing up one ring first. Okay, so I'm going to go through here once. Okay. I'm going to make sure this isn't, see how that's down and not bothering Star. I'm going to go through here. This again is as if you have a one ring saddle. Okay, I'm still not pulling it tight because I got to go through again. I'm through again, making sure this is good. And this is a tough one. This is my first pass. Okay, I'm going to come up here. And many of you may have done this differently and use these hook. We're not doing that. We are going to latigo tie it through. This, up through. See that? I'm going to pull it up. I still haven't tightened this up because if you do, you'll never get through it. Now, it's my time. Now that we have some horses who maybe we don't tighten up right now. Maybe they have another hour before they go out. So what I'm going to do is tighten her some, but you always check the girth again and probably again when you get to the mounting block. Okay, so I'm going to tighten this up this way, come around. I'm making sure this isn't crooked or pinched. I'm going to do this. And that's tight enough for now. When I get her to the mounting block, I'm going to check it again. Always check it again at the mounting block. Don't want to guess who gets on and doesn't quite, is maybe a little heavier. Okay, this piece of equipment we call the fly sheet or butt skirt. We use this whenever the flies come out, maybe not early in the year, but whenever we feel like the flies are going to be a bother because we don't want them being bitten out on the trails. So the way this works, every saddle is different, but most of them have a hook in the back here of some kind. As you can see, this one has been set up so that I can Velcro through this in whatever I can. So this you have to be a little creative with some saddles. Some have tie off, some do not. So I'm going to do that. One of the most common problems is losing the butt skirts on the trail. If they're not put on correctly, they're going to fall down on the horse's tail or fall off or go to the side. And then you're going to have to get off and get them, which is not always fun. First thing I'm going to do over here is use this. And again, every saddle is different. Okay. So once I have secured this, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust this to make sure that her rear is covered from biting flies, because that's the point. So see, it's all flat here. I'm going to adjust this a little bit, bring it up some more. I don't like where it is. And then there's a tail wrap. So you can see this. I'm going to come around this way. This is critical to keep this from sliding side to side. I'm going to lift her tail, right? I'm going to come around. This one is a little different here. And she probably needs a couple of wraps. And I'm going to come back up on this Velcro in whatever way it works. Like I said, you have to be creative sometimes so that it stays on her. and Velcros up, because if not, it's going to be a constant problem with the sheet falling off. And then I'm going to readjust this to make sure if she is using the bathroom, it's not bringing this fly sheet down. Then I'm going to do this, and the last tight I'm going to do is right up here. I'm going to make sure this is covered, always keeping track that this horse knows you're behind her. Star's really good, but you want to make sure you don't get stepped on or kicked. This is all straight. So now I've got this, I'm girthed, and I'm pretty good to go. So the next thing we're going to do is the bit. This bit is probably really different from what you're used to, and I call it a halter bit. So we trailer the horses in this, and instead of having to take a halter off, we're going to use this bit, and it goes right on the halter. Now you're going to find them, they're easy to look at them upside down, but you're going to find them hooked. This is the way we put them away. We're going to unhook them. Back is always this curb, it's a chain or it's a strap. Snaffle bit, I always put the reins over the head first, okay? We don't want her stepping in them. I don't want to step in them. So if you're not used to this, here's your top, okay? So I'm going to step around left-handed here. So I'm going to put these reins over Star's head. And we have sometimes a head-shy horse. You don't want to be tossing in their face. I try to get rid of these reins as much as possible. Now I know I'm right. Curb chains in the back, snaffle bit. We're going to turn these out, make sure they're flat. I'm going to make sure that the curb chain is behind her. I'm not putting the curb strap in her mouth. And I am going to sometimes open up. Make sure they open up. I don't want to bump her teeth. I'm looking to make sure I'm not bumping her teeth. And up we go. We don't want to create a problem horse by bumping her teeth. This side sometimes is a little tricky. I don't want to drop either side, so I'm going to hold this side up. Sometimes you can tuck it in the other side of the bridle. And if I can't, if this bridle is tight, this leather is cold, I'm going to tuck this in here on the other side, because that's my other hand there. And I'm going to use both hands and do this. So I'm hooked here, right? Curb chain is behind her. And I'm going to come around here, and this, see how I tucked it in? It kind of held it for me. Sometimes if you have a co-worker, you want to bit them together, that's fine too. That sometimes is quick if you have time. So they are both sides. This is straight. Curb chain looks good. I can get 2 fingers in there. It's not too tight for her. And also, as you'll notice, the bit has a name on it. See these tags? The halter has a name on it, the saddle. So you know that Star is in everything that is Star's. You shouldn't have to fit it. It should fit fine. If you come into anything that doesn't fit, ask your lead. Say, this, it looks like this is not fitting her correctly. Always ask. But her stuff, as you can see, fits her really well. Now she's ready to go. One other really important thing. You got to make sure these reins are behind this horn, because they might stand for half an hour waiting for guests to get on. We don't want these reins up here. They're going to put their head down. They're going to be stepping through reins and be breaking reins. So make sure that they're up here. So we're at the end of the day, and we're going to untack 19 horses. So we do this in a pattern so that the next day when your coworkers come in or you come in, everything is put back neatly. I'm going to start with the bit. And again, we don't want to develop bad habits on a horse. You don't want to be yanking a horse's mouth. So I'm going to unhook over here, right? And sometimes these hooks are tough. And I'm going to unhook over here. I don't want to pull her mouth at all. So I'm dropping that there. I'm going to undo this. And you're seeing an example of sometimes this leather is cold, but of it not coming out there. I don't want to hurt Star's mouth. I'm going to tuck here until I get this unhooked so that it doesn't hurt her. And I'm going to unhook this. Now she's totally unhooked. I'm going to let her drop it. I'm not going to yank it out of her mouth. She's going to drop it. And that way it doesn't create a bad habit. Okay, now I'm going to take these reins back over her head. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure this is hooked back up. Okay, and I'm going to take this, there's a place in the trailer to hang them by alphabet, and I'm going to make sure these reins are not on the ground when we step in, and in the trailer we don't want to trip ourselves, and I'm going to put that back on the hook. I'm going to undo that. I'm going to go for the tail. because if you pull this off and don't get the tail, you're gonna pull the horse's tail. You don't wanna do that. So I'm gonna take all this off. It's all off, and I'm gonna pull straight out. Again, being aware you're behind a horse in close quarters, right? We fold these up. We put these in a tub. There's a tub for butt skirts. So that would go in the trailer. Let her know I'm here. This is a horn bag. We put these on all the saddles so guests can put in a camera or water or whatever they need to do. This goes in a separate tub. All right, so then I raise this up. I'm gonna loosen this saddle up, this latigo, and this is a specific way we put these away so no one is tripping. Okay, so I'm gonna put this way, and there are some different ways of doing it, but this is the way I do it. I put it right back, tied the way I found it, like this. That's secure. I'm not gonna trip on that when I carry that back to the trailer. I don't want to forget about the other side, right? So I'm going to go around the back of Star and let her know I'm there. And every saddle is different, but you want this hooked up, okay? This is a keeper here, so I'm going to put this through. This is going to be my friend for not tripping on the girth, right, like that. This is secure, that's secure, and now I'm ready to take it off and carry it to the trailer. All right. And you try really hard not to bring the blankets down with you. Sometimes it doesn't work. And then there are racks and stuff in the. And now the blue and golds. They go in a specific tub. You're gonna fold them like this. Make sure they're folded like this. And then there's a blue and gold gray tub that they go in. And then I'm gonna take this saddle blanket off. We fold them like this. Sometimes we fold them out. Sometimes we lay them out because they can be pretty wet in the summer. And they go in a specific spot in the trailer. And then we are good to go. She keeps this on for her ride back to the farm. And that's that.